Ever wondered if $47 billion could be used to build a highway? No, well, Norway did. Picture a highway, a ribbon of asphalt stretching across the expansive Norwegian coastline, a pathway connecting the isolated northern regions to the bustling southern cities. This isn't just any highway, though. This is Norway's coastal highway project, and it's as grandiose as it sounds. Imagine the ambition it takes to conceive such an idea. To look at the rugged, fjord-riddled coastline of your country and say, you know what we need? A $47 billion highway. That's right, 47 billion. That's billion with a B, folks. Now you might be thinking, hey, that's a lot of money. Couldn't they use it for something else? Well, you're not alone. There's been a fair share of controversy surrounding the project, people questioning the necessity, the cost, the environmental impact. But Norway, in all its Viking glory, decided to take the plunge. This isn't just about building a road, though. This is about connecting communities, about bridging the gap between urban and rural, about bringing the country closer together. It's about making the inaccessible accessible and the remote not so remote. And let's not forget the economic impact. The potential boost to commerce and tourism is significant. Imagine cruising along the breathtaking coastline, stopping at quaint fishing villages and bustling port cities. It's a traveler's dream and a boon for local economies, but still $47 billion. That's a hefty price tag, even for a country as wealthy as Norway. It's a bold move, a statement of intent, a testament to Norway's commitment to progress and connectivity. So if you have a spare 47 billion lying around, you too could build a highway or, solve world hunger. So where does this highway lead? To the end of a rainbow perhaps, or maybe a pot of gold? Well, let's dive into the geographical span of this colossal project. Stretching from the southern city of Kristiansand all the way to the chilly Arctic Circle town of Bodo, the highway covers a whopping 1,090 kilometers. That's like driving from San Francisco to San Diego, and then some. Now, if you're thinking, wow, that's a pretty long drive, well, you'd be right. But here's the kicker. Currently, if you were to make this journey, you'd need to take 7 ferries. Yes, you heard that right. 7 ferries. But with this new highway, the Norwegians are saying, ferries? Who needs them? The plan is to eliminate all of them, transforming a disjointed journey into a seamless drive. Imagine that. A continuous drive through the stunning Norwegian coastline with uninterrupted views of fjords, mountains, and the occasional reindeer. And the impact on travel time? Well, it's projected to cut it almost in half, from 21 hours down to just about 11. That's like shaving off the time it takes to watch the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy twice. But let's circle back to our original question. Where does this highway lead? Well, from a small city at the southernmost tip of Norway, all the way to a small town within the Arctic Circle. You might be thinking, so from nowhere to nowhere? And well, you wouldn't be entirely wrong. Maybe it's not about the destination, but the journey. Or maybe it's about the Norwegians showing off their engineering prowess. Or maybe it's just about making it easier for Santa Claus to deliver his presents. Who knows? So if you fancy a scenic drive from nowhere to nowhere, this is your ticket. Building a highway is easy, right? Just throw some asphalt on the ground and call it a day. Well, let's just take a little detour to discuss some of the engineering and environmental speed bumps that Norway had to navigate while constructing this colossal coastal highway. First off, engineering. Imagine trying to build a highway over the Norwegian coastline. It's not like you're laying asphalt on a flat prairie. This is a land of fjords, mountains, and islands. It's like trying to build a roller coaster track. But instead of fun and games, it's $47 billion of serious business. Then there's the small matter of the 7 underwater tunnels that had to be constructed. Yes, you heard that right, underwater tunnels. It's like Norway looked at the Channel Tunnel between the UK and France and said, hold my akvavit. Building one of these is like trying to thread a needle while riding a unicycle on a tightrope. Not exactly your average DIY project. Secondly, the environmental challenges. Norway, known for its stunning natural beauty, had to ensure this mega project didn't turn its pristine coastline into a construction site. Imagine trying to maintain the ecological balance while you're drilling through mountains and under the sea. It's like trying to keep your living room clean while you're demolishing a wall. And let's not forget about the weather. Norway's climate isn't exactly what you'd call construction-friendly. It's more like let's freeze your construction materials and then drench them in a storm. Constructing a highway in these conditions is like trying to build a sandcastle during a tsunami. So, between engineering feats that would make a NASA scientist sweat, environmental considerations that would give a Greenpeace activist nightmares, and weather conditions that would send a seasoned construction worker running for the hills, Norway had its work cut out for it. Who knew building a highway could be as complex as rocket science? Oh wait, it's Norway! So, what happens when you spend $47 billion on a highway? Do unicorns start using it? Well, let's dive into the economic and environmental impacts of this colossal project. You see, when you throw that kind of money at a highway, you'd expect some serious returns, right? Well, in theory, the coastal highway is expected to boost Norway's economy. It's all about connectivity and trade. With shorter and faster routes, businesses can thrive and the economy blooms. But let's not forget, this isn't just any highway. It's a highway that's going to run through some of the most pristine, untouched landscapes on the planet. Now, I'm no environmental scientist, but I think it's safe to assume that carving a path through this stunning scenery might just have a few ecological consequences. Just picture this, a highway slicing through the country, disrupting habitats, and potentially causing a decline in biodiversity. Now, doesn't that sound lovely? And let's not even get started on the carbon footprint of such a massive construction project. If the planet had a Yelp review page, I'm sure it would be giving this project a 1-star rating. But hey, maybe the economic benefits outweigh the ecological costs. I mean, who needs polar bears and clean air when you got a shiny new highway, right? Then there's the question of sustainability. $47 billion is a lot of money, and that's just the estimated cost. We all know how these mega projects tend to go. Delays, unexpected problems, costs spiraling out of control. It's like a soap opera, but with more concrete and less interesting characters. So, let's recap. We've got a project that's going to cost a small fortune, potentially harm the environment, and could end up being a financial black hole. But on the bright side, it might boost the economy. So for a mere $47 billion, you get a highway and a potential ecological disaster. Bargain, right? So is this $47 billion highway a stroke of genius or a monumental waste of money? Let's find out. We've journeyed down the road of this ambitious highway dream, a dream that might as well have been born from a Midsummer Night's fantasy. A highway, not just any highway, but Norway's $47 billion coastal highway, stretching its tentacles across the picturesque Norwegian coastline like a sprawling metallic sea creature. We've delved into the abyss of the road to nowhere, a phrase that has become a favorite catchphrase for the critics of this grand endeavor. The path, or rather the lack of it, is filled with challenges. We're talking about a highway that's planning to leapfrog over fjords, burrow under mountains, and withstand the merciless wrath of the North Atlantic Ocean. Sounds like a plot straight out of a science fiction novel, doesn't it? And let's not forget the impact. Oh, the impact. Not just on the environment, but on the economy, the local communities, and the very identity of Norway. It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle, with each piece representing a different aspect of the Norwegian society, and the highway being the missing piece that's supposed to bring it all together, or tear it apart. Now, the verdict. Is this $47 billion venture an unparalleled masterpiece, or simply a colossal blunder? Well, on one hand, we have a highway that promises to revolutionize transport, boost the economy, and maybe even put Norway on the global map, literally. On the other hand, we have a project that's threatening to disturb the delicate balance of nature, strain the economy, and possibly leave a permanent scar on the face of Norway. Quite the conundrum, isn't it? But hey, who are we to judge? We're just bystanders watching this grand spectacle unfold from the sidelines. It's a story that's being written by the Norwegians for the Norwegians. So there you have it, $47 billion for a highway. Money well spent, you decide, or maybe ask a Norwegian.